The Men of Business, Men of Excellence Club.
Alright, so we are a business-oriented group. We promote, uplift, and motivate the student body to be leaders, and if they are leaders, we want them to become better leaders. We do this through carefully planned events and confidential discussions. So some examples that we've done in the past are like, we had an interracial dating event called Get Out. We had Network to Network, where we had different people from different industries come in one place and just network with each other. That was a pretty good event too. We have debate nights where we just talk about different controversial topics. So it's pretty diverse what we do.
That's awesome. And how long have you guys been together or formed?
So formed in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, 2015.
And then if you guys don't mind, if you guys could just each introduce yourself and just cause it's so much more intimate, I'd rather be more of a conversation than more just introduce yourself and what you're passionate about as well.
Okay. So my name is Naeem Hopkins. I want to major in computer science. I really like math, physics, science. But I also want to be a business person.
Okay.
I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So my first goal is to, get a doctorate and do research, and then based off of the results of that, be able to patent something and turn that into a business.
That's a vision right there.
Alright, so my name is Gideon, right? I'm a criminal justice major. I plan on going to law enforcement, but to higher up, more like FBI, CIA type of detective industry.
That's what's up.
My name is Richie. I'm a psychology major. I want to get my master's in counselor's education, but I also want to pursue DJing as well, as I want to be able to travel the world.
Have you been doing it yet or no?
I've been DJing when I was younger. Did it a little bit in high school, stopped, now I'm getting back into it again. So it's my best friend, I'm his roadie. So we do clubs and everything now. So
You getting shit lit?
Yep.
How you doing? My name is Malcolm Herrera. I'm a psychology major. Same thing. I want to be. I should get my PhD in psychology, counseling and stuff. I grew up in Newark, so how it's tough environment and stuff. So I definitely want to be a school psychologist, or maybe a child psychologist, more than likely.
That's fine.
I'm a soccer player here. I play for the men's soccer team, and I'm part of PASU, the vice president of PASU.
Say, what was the last thing you said?
I'm the vice president of PASU,
What is
Pan African Student Union.
Oh, okay, that's dope. That's dope.
So I'm Owen, business management major, also health education minor. My passion, I'll have to say, what I want to get into after I graduate is real estate for the most part, but I just want to be a businessman, just overall businessman. But I want to use that to help people. That's my ultimate goal, help people around the world.
Absolutely.
My name is Edward. I'm a 10-year military veteran. I was in the United States Marine Corps. Coming back to school, my major is exercise science. I want to be a personal trainer. Like my nephew and a bunch of my young family members that are males are into sports. So I want to get into it so that way I can be there with them as they go and give them guidance, but at the same time be, helpful to them too.
I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. I went to Monmouth University, so right down the road. My name's Hakeem Valles. I'm from South Jersey, about 15 minutes from Philadelphia in Camden County. I guess I'll take you back from the beginning where it all started in terms of being an entrepreneur. When I was 5th grade, cutting grass to get my first phone. Moving forward, when I was in middle school, I would go to Sam's Club to get a box of Skittles for $13 and sell them for $1, and you get $36 out of it. It's a $23 spread, and I was flipping. I'm 2 boxes a day, until they had to shut me down at school. And then when I went to college, our little brother had broken his iPhone. My dad said he wasn't getting a new one he just said he wasn't getting a new one. You crack the shit, just deal with it. And I was like, you know what? Let me try and figure it out. I went on YouTube. It took me about 6 hours to fix his phone. And I was like, it only cost me $30 though. And light just went off. And so I took out my phone, took it apart, put it back together, took it apart, put it back together until I could do it in 20 minutes. And then I was the guy on campus fixing phones, just straight word of mouth, and that fed me through college. And I probably fixed 3-4 phones a day from freshman year and sophomore year. And then the iPhone 6 came out. I think it was too expensive to fix, so it put me out of business.
Yeah, that's
The Switch shit, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I was just like, it's not worth the stress and all that. Exactly. So when I was in college at Monmouth is one of the few colleges that offers a business real estate major. So my major is business with a concentration in real estate. The girl I was dating at the time, her dad had just started his own like grassroots house flipping business. So he was like, you know, you're a real estate major, I'll take you under my wing and I'll teach you he was kind of new at it too. So it wasn't really him teaching me stuff, it was him going through the process just like me. And I was like, all right, I'm here to add value. You know what I'm saying? I think I want to do real estate. That's obviously why that's my major. So just show me the ropes. So his cousin was a contractor, so I would at least 2-3 times a week, I'm driving up from Monmouth, which is about 45 minutes from here, to Essex County, like West Orange, that whole area. That's where we mostly flipped houses. At least 2-3 times a week while playing college football, while doing winter workouts and all that, to go knock out walls, to go, one time I brought up a couple teammates to lift us. We added a master bedroom to an attic of a house, so we needed to put stairs in. So we, obviously super unorthodox, took the stairs and put them through the second floor window because they wouldn't fit through the front door, but I just brought all my teammates up from college to do it. As that relationship progressed, it was awesome. He gave me power to go out and put offers in on properties, to go, I'm cold calling people and putting on, I didn't really understand what I was doing. I was just living and being a part of the process, and it was awesome while I was doing it. And then me and his daughter broke up, so that whole relationship ended, and it was just like, damn, it was awesome while it lasted, but it was an awesome hell of experience. Moving forward, like Owen told you, I'm transitioning into my 4th year in the NFL. When I finished up December of 2016, going into 17, no, December 2015, going into 16, I had to put my master's on pause so I could train for the NFL. I was training up in Martinsville, which is right by Rutgers. About an hour and so commute back and forth to Monmouth. And that was when I had the oh shit moment. Like, I just essentially not dropped out of college. I already got my degree. It was I was 10 credits ago, still in my MBA. Put that on pause, and I was like, oh shit, like, it's January, the draft is April, and if it doesn't work out, like, this is the first time in my life, like, I'm not playing sports, like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not doing anything, not in school, anything, like, if it doesn't work out. So it was like, shit, like, what am I gonna do if it doesn't work out? So go back to what I know, is real estate. And that was when I found, this is something that you guys should all join afterwards. I'll show you guys how to do it and everything. We can get really into it. I joined a site called Bigger Pockets. It's literally the Facebook for real estate investors. There's over 1 million members there, and you can meet anyone in any city across the world. Like, I was in Vegas not too long ago, and I put out a post. Hey, I'm in Vegas for like 2 days. Any real estate, and I wanted to golf regardless because I was going to a golf thing, and I asked if any investors were out in the area and they wanted to golf. Like 2 investors, they went out and went golfing, and like, that's how easy and like accessible this site is. But they also have a podcast, and my hour and a half commute every day, consuming every day. Like, I don't think I listened to a song that whole 6-month period. It was just podcast audiobooks, because if football didn't work out, it had to be real estate. Like, there was no other option, you know what I'm saying? And then the draft happened, I was like, whatever team I go to, if I go to a team, I'm gonna start doing real estate in that city. I went to the Arizona Cardinals. In 2016, I was like, perfect. Phoenix, real estate, booming city, awesome. So what I did in Phoenix is, and what I'm really here to tell you is, it's really possible to invest in real estate with not much money, and you can really network your way into a deal. So my first deal cost $268,000, 4-unit apartment building in Phoenix, Arizona. Your average person does not know that you can purchase a 4-unit apartment building with only 3.5% down on it. Most people think you got to put 20% down on everything. So there's a program that the government put out called FHA. It's Federal. There you go. Federal Housing Authority. sponsored loan. So essentially to boost people to go buy houses, because in reality, single family house was created by a bank, so banks would get mortgages and mortgages would get paid. So the FHA is just kind of booting people, it's like buy houses, buy houses. But the loophole in there is that you can buy a single family, you can buy a duplex, you can buy a triplex, or a fourplex. And that same rule still applies. You can put as little as 3.5% down. So I bought a $268,000 apartment building for $13,000. And after that, a dollar never came out of my pocket ever again. Because my tenants paid the mortgage. My mortgage was $1,700 a month. My tenants bringing in about $3,000 a month, $3,200 a month. After I moved out, so I was living in one unit, renting out the other three. So I lived for free. Like most guys were living in Scottsdale, Tempe, Phoenix, living it up, $4,000 a month for rent, all that type of stuff. And I just took the frugal route. So I watched, my little brother is also an NFL player as well. And he used to play with the Oakland Raiders, Buffalo Bills, and now he's in the CFL. When he was with the Raiders, he got cut from the Raiders and went to the Bills. Just like I was literally in the air, flying to go see him. It was my Christmas break. So my little brother, just trying to give you guys a backstory, was my motivation because he went to the NFL before me. He was a stud in college, 5-star recruit, UVA, and had a high draft grade and left as a sophomore and went 6th round to the Oakland Raiders. But when he went to Buffalo, he was still locked in his lease in Oakland, Alameda County, California, which his rent was $3,000 a month, locked in for another 6 months. So that rent is going to air, like $18,000 just out the door. You could have bought a fourplex with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like now he's playing in Buffalo, this apartment just sitting here and like nothing. So I was like, I can't let that happen to me. And right when I got to Tempe, because I needed to learn the playbook and all that stuff for the Cardinals, I obviously had to get an apartment. And I was paying $2,000 a month. And I'm like, fuck, that's $24,000 a year to air. You know what I mean? And what I did was I utilized that site, Bigger Pockets, and really just put out a post like introducing myself. My name's Hakeem. I'm a new tight end on the Arizona Cardinals, looking to network with real estate investors. I want to house. The term what I did is called house hacking. I want to house hack my first property, and I want to really just connect with local investors in the area. I say probably about 30, 40 people messaged back, like on the post thread. I was like, awesome. Took every single one of them out to coffee and just picked their brains up and down. Pick their brains up and down. Where can I add value? 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 And really just started to I learned a lot in college. Like I learned the X's and O's and the vocabulary, like cap rates and yields and stupid shit like that. But once I really started to get out in the field and networking with people that are actually doing it and in the industry, my mind just went to a whole nother level. So moving forward, buying that apartment protected me to not be in that same exact situation as my brother, because inevitably I got cut from the Cardinals. And I took that unit that I was living in and Airbnb'd it and made double of what it would rent it for. So each of those units rent for, like the 2 bedrooms at that apartment building rent for $750, and the 3-bedroom rents for $850. The 2-bedroom, once it's Airbnb'd out, it does about $1,400 to like $2,000 a month, depending on the time of the year and who's vacationing and all that. So it blasted my returns on my original investment, and it was awesome. When I went to the Detroit Lions after that, I did the same exact thing. I bought a duplex in Allen Park, Michigan. That one I had a little bit more money saved up, and you only can do one FHA at a time. So if you have a wife or a girlfriend, like you could do one, she could do one. Or what I'm eventually going to do is refinance. We can get into that as well, because I'm going to open it to Q&A for as long as you guys want. I can refinance out of my FHA, get a new FHA, and do it in another market, as long as that value is raised up enough to refinance out. It's kind of hard to explain. I can go into a little bit detail later. So I bought a duplex and did the same exact thing. Me and my fiance and our daughter lived downstairs, and we Airbnb'd upstairs. The mortgage was $1,000 a month. Airbnb brought in about $1,400 a month. It's a win-win. You're making a little bit of money, but what most people don't understand about a mortgage payment is some of it is an interest payment, but that principal, that loan pay down of your principal, it's really the same thing as putting money into a bank account. Because if you buy right, which is one of the biggest tenets of real estate, you gotta buy right. If you buy right, that value is always gonna be increasing while you hold the property. So, damn, I just went blank right there. What did I just say right there?
Value
Yeah, the value will go up, and what was I saying before I said that? My shit went blank.
The duplex was Airbnb in Detroit, 1400.
Yeah. So $1,400 a month, and at that time I was like, okay, I'm not about to be the duplex, fourplex guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna really make real money that way. I was really just covering. Oh, that's what I was going into. Loan pay down. When you're paying back your loan, your house is a bank account. Because at the end of the day, you can sell it for that same value. Every time you're putting principal down, so take a mortgage payment of $1,000, for example. 200 of it is interest. That's going into the bank pocket. 800 is going to you paying back your loan from the bank, but that's going into an equity pot. So now when you sell your property, you don't have to pay that money back to the bank. You get that money back.
So is that a percentage that the bank takes out of it?
In what
Mortgage?
sense?
So you said like you take a mortgage out of $1,000.
Okay.
We give them back 200. Now we have 800 left. And we pay that loan back. And so is that what the bank requests to give back?
No. The percentage.
Yeah.
That percentage is whatever interest rate you're locked in at. So my fourplex is, I bought it for $268,000, put $13,000 down.
Okay.
My interest rate is 4.75. So you take that 262 minus the 13,000, times it by 4.75. That's how much extra you're going to have to pay on that loan in the 30-year period of it. Because it's like, I'm borrowing money. I'm not just going to give you the full money back. You're going to want some more for the time value of money. So, but what people don't realize is if that is, okay, I'm trying to give you the most simplest explanation is, if I buy a house, no money down, the bank gives me a loan, and they used to do programs like that, no money down, it costs $100,000, boom, I owe you, the bank, $100,000, right? The next day I want to sell the house. I sell it for $100,000. How much do I have to give you? $100,000. How much do I get? Nothing. Same exact house, $100,000, you loan me $100,000, no money down. 5 years go by and I pay you back 20,000 of it. I sell the property for $100,000. How much do I have to give you? 80,000. And now what do I get? 20,000. That I was paying you. You only got to keep the interest on top of it. You're getting the 200 of that 800. You know what I'm saying? That other 800 is a sitting pot of equity for you. For 5 years later, when you want to sell that property, or you want to refinance out of it, or you want to get something called a home equity line of credit, they call it a HELOC. So times are tough, not times are tough, you want to go invest into a new property. You got a property that's worth $1 million, free and clear. Now you can take a loan out of it. Let's go back to 100,000, smaller round numbers. $100,000. You own it free and clear. You've owned it for 30 years. You paid the bank back all their money. If you want to now, you can take a loan out against your house. It's called a HELOC. Because now you own all the equity in it. So a bank will give you 70% of what the value of that property is. So now you own a house free and clear, $100,000. You've been paying the bank back. You're done. Whatever. Now you're like, all right, I want to do some more investments. So you go to the bank, say, I want to take a HELOC out on my property. So now they'll give you $70,000. So now you can go use that as a down payment for a $500,000 apartment complex. That technically it's no money out of your original pocket. You just took value out of one pot, put it in another pot that you were already paying from your tenants anyway. So none of it's coming from you. You know what I'm saying? My mortgage payments that I'm paying to the bank in Phoenix, that I'm paying to the bank in Detroit, I don't pay it. My tenants pay it. You know what I'm saying? Like my tenants bring in $3,200 a month.
So you're not forking nothing out. They are.
And then 20 years from now, they've also created a bank account for me.
Oh wow.
That same 20,000 I'm telling you about.
Yeah.
But when you talk, that's single family houses. When you're talking about apartments, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. It's just literally the same thing, just add zeros at the end of it. Just people get really scared when they see those zeros. But scared money don't make no money. Real shit. And back to that Detroit property and bigger pockets. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna keep networking and just because I'm not satisfied. And the broker who sold me my duplex, he was a businessman, I could just tell. He always had people in and out of his office. I would just hang out just to leech on, you know what I'm saying? Be a fly on the wall. He was like, hey, I got this Cuban guy and this attorney coming in next week you should come by. They're bigger investors. I know you like apartment complexes, blah, 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 blah. I was like, cool. I get there and the guy goes, I usually don't do business with people unless I know them first. And I was like, all right. And he was like, well, if you don't got no time, just leave. I was like, I got time. We wind up sitting there for about 4.5 hours just getting to know each other. And then they just open their world of business to me. Like now I'm a part of, are you guys familiar with, like, I don't want to say it too loud, but the cannabis industry? Yeah. We now own 40 acres in Michigan that we're going to develop 42 warehouses on it and sell it 5 years from now for over $1 billion. It just went recreational in Michigan as well. Like we bought this land for $500,000 in April. We just got an offer on it 3 weeks ago for $7 million. No dollars out of my pocket though. I networked my way into that deal. Yeah. Just being a fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Same group. Back to adding value. I said I always wanted to figure out how I can add value. Same group. They deal with bigger apartment complexes, condo conversions across the country. There's a new law called opportunity zones, and essentially it's really like 201, 301 level stuff, but we're creating a fund of $150 million from a German family office. Is anybody familiar with what a family office is?
Yeah.
What's your understanding of it?
So it's basically like, it's like a house where you work out of, basically.
Not technically. I don't want to make you like feel stupid because they make sense, but no. What it is once you make like over $100 million, you don't go to like a financial planner. You don't go to a financial advisor. You hire one person who handles just you.
Asset management?
No, it's not even asset management. Asset management is actually considered something what I'm doing. When you're managing assets across the country, like apartment complexes, you're considered an asset manager, managing the manager. A family office is you just did an IPO of your company and you sold it for $500 million. Now what are you gonna do? You can't just have $500 million in the bank. You know what I'm saying? You can't fuck around when you have that much money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what a family office essentially does is they handle all your wealth. They have somebody who's in charge of real estate, somebody who's in charge of stocks, somebody's in charge of this, somebody's in charge of that. And they get vetted deals all day, filter them out, and keep your money working for you. But it's just you. You literally have a business working for you, just handling your money. Whereas normally, like people who don't make $100 million go to a financial advisor and they say, okay, put your money here, here, and here, and they deal with hundreds of thousands of clients. Whereas a family office is just one person. So we're going over to Germany to pitch a family office for $150 million to invest in apartment complexes essentially all across the country. And where did I add value in? I made the pitch deck for it. Like something as small as that, I'm in the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like every apartment complex that we buy in this fund, right off the rip, you get 4%, 2%, and another 3%. So $10 million, whatever 4% is of it, 2% of it, and 3% of it is added up together and divided by 3 people. That's where I'm in on this deal. And that's just before that's just for buying. That's for buying a property in the fund. We did the pitch. We got the pitch. We got 150 million. Now we have to spend 150 million over 10 years. But each property we buy in that fund, our front loader's fee is that. But I networked my way into that, bro. There's not a dollar out of my pocket. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is that anybody can do this shit. The issue is there's a stigma on real estate. You can't invest in real estate until you're rich. You can't invest in real estate until you're 40 years old and retired, and that's where you put your money at. Like, it's not true. Like, you can network your way into real estate deals. You just simply have to figure out ways, how can you add value? Because, you know, the most things that most people, you enter a conversation or even a networking event, this is something to take to any type of facet, not just real estate. Most people go out figuring out, okay, you're at a networking event, you're just looking. Oh, that company looks cool, okay. What does that guy get? What can I get from that guy? That's the first thing you're thinking instantly. You have to shift your mindset of, like how can I add value to you? Because it'll come back tenfold in the end. Like most people, it's a weird way of thinking, but when you give, it'll come back in the end. Like for example, I want to come back and talk to you guys once a month at least, and you guys should keep the conversation on real estate talking and going. I don't want anything from you guys. maybe 10 years from now, put me on one of your deals. Because you're going to be a fucking guru when it comes to real estate if you really hone into some of the shit I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess moving forward is like, if you really just, like, I wish I was in college and had the knowledge, like, not in like a cocky sense, like the knowledge I have right now, but if I had the knowledge I had right now when I was in college, I have no idea. It's scary at where I'd be. Because you guys have so much, you don't realize how much free time you have. Like, think you don't have free time, but you have fucking free time. Like, and if you're not like actually double downing and triple downing on that free time on what your passions are, then I don't know what you're doing. Like, you really have to sacrifice who you are for like what you want to be. Like, I don't have fucking cable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the NFL. Like, I'm trying to think, I don't go out Fridays, Saturdays. Like, I don't even realize it's Friday or Saturday until it's 2 in the morning and I'm still on my fucking iPad doing work. Because that's when my baby and my wife are asleep and that's when I can really get work done. Like, it's really about how bad you want it and how hard are you willing to work to get it. Because if you really hone on to some of this real estate stuff now, like who's a senior here? Just you. If you really hone on this shit now, by the time you're graduated and you have a property or 2 properties or 3 properties or 4 properties, then you don't have to get caught in the rat race like everybody else here. Working for 40 years, 40 hours a week, to retire on 40% of your income, live another 40 years and die.
Still broke.
What impact did you have? Do you know what I mean? Like, did you do what you actually wanted to do? Did you build somebody else's dreams in that process? If you start investing now, getting a little bit of passive income, not to become a millionaire, this is not no get rich quick shit. Like, I can tell you that right now. Most people see somebody who's a real estate investor, oh, he's got 3 properties, he must be a millionaire. Fuck no. Like, it's a long play, but if you really want to get to where you want to get, it takes small stuff. Like, for example, making like $100 a unit. Might not seem big now, but you got 100 properties making $100 a unit. That's $10,000 a month passively. You're not doing shit. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's single family houses we're talking about. I'm talking about apartments though. So like I don't want to keep ranting. I don't want to, if I keep going, I feel like I'm saying too much and I don't want to have to, I don't want you guys to have too many questions. I want to get everything answered. So do you guys have any questions to start with? Or like where, I'm trying to think like where, like how do you think you could potentially utilize some of this?
I know how I can.
How's that?
I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I can take advantage of the VA loan.
I was going to say, your VA loan.
And I'm already on disability.
Did you know that you can use a VA loan for up to 5 years?
No, I did not.
100% of vets don't know that. I'm actually going down to Texas to go talk at, which bases are in Texas? Not Fort Worth.
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood, yeah.
So, one more.
And
Myers? No, it's not Fort, but it is Abilene.
Abilene, okay, it's not Fort, but yeah. I'm going down there to go talk to them because no one's going to tell you that because they don't want you to, you got apartment complexes and stuff like that. You're going to leave the military. They don't want that. You can buy a 5-unit apartment complex with $0 down using your VA. Like tomorrow, you should literally be calling your VA, making sure you're pre-approved. Check. That's one thing. You like action steps. Like all you guys, like you have to. Like it's critical. Unless you don't want to do this. Like if you don't want to do this, that's perfectly straight. But I took a very, 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 very practical approach to real estate. I take a practical approach to everything. Like the NFL, for example. Like I wasn't a star player in college. I didn't get my first catch until my senior year. I was a bench player. And then senior year, I did my thing, moved to tight end. But when it came time to start training, I was like, okay, from a practical perspective, I need to run this fast. I need to lift this. I need to get 225, this many reps. I need to catch the ball every single time. And if I do all that, I should go to the NFL. But what else do I need to do? I also need to be the first person in the building. I need to be the last person to leave, no matter what. Just from a practical perspective, like I know and I've heard from the greats that you gotta be the first person, you gotta be the last person. And so what? 5 a.m. the first person getting my shit in. 7 p.m. I was the last person leaving the facility. I'm talking 14-hour days so I can go to the NFL. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? That's the real question. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to sacrifice your Friday night to do something like this? Are you willing to sacrifice your Friday night to go to a network event, to a real estate club or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to sacrifice? There's so many things, like when you look back, like when I even look back in college of how much time I wasted, because most people look at college, it's a big ass party, and it's really just it's a gap for millennials to figure it the fuck out. That's really what it is. For now, most people go to college and then do some shit that doesn't even matter with their degree or not. It's really just a time for most people are just like, really don't know what the fuck I want to do. And like, it's understandable though. But why not make a little bit of money too while you're still figuring it out? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I figured out that my passion is impacting literally people like you guys to do the same thing that I've done. 'Cause I don't want $1 from you because I can make money from real estate. I can make money from cannabis. Like, but my passion is this. You know what I'm saying? If your passion is to draw fucking pictures, you can't do that for a living. You know what I'm saying? You got to put food on the table at the end of the day. If your passion is to just be a podcaster, or just you know what I'm saying, just something small like that, something that's not going to make you cash on day one, you physically can't do it in this day and age, because as soon as you graduate, you got to deal with your student loans. In order to pay those student loans back, you got to get a job. In order to get a job, you got to sacrifice your Monday through Friday. Then what happens? 5 years go by, 10 years go by, then you get the watch, then you get the vacation, then you retire. Like, help me help you not let that happen to you. Like, I really like genuinely want to shift this entire generation of millennials, college by college, so we can really take over. Like, you think older people want this type of shit? Like you will literally, like, you 6 people starting to invest in real estate, you shift the paradigm of this whole, I wouldn't say the university, but now you guys got an example of what can follow. Do you know what I'm saying? You start, you're probably the best example, because you can literally get a property tomorrow. Like, what are you waiting for? No, but obviously you just learned. I know.
Because like I was saying, I was just talking to the thing. Like, I'm like 31 years old, so I got out in 2017. I had a couple rough patches, because I used to, that's why it's funny when you said you had that apartment in Oakland, or your brother had that apartment in Oakland. I used to live in LA, because I'm stationed on there.
Okay.
She was ridiculous, $3,200 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment, not even 1,000 square feet. It was only because it was right there next to the highway. It's expensive, and I was like, man, I had a little, a couple incidents, whatever, got evicted, just now rebuilding my credit score, because I know with the VA loan, you have to at least have a 630. That's the one.
I think in the 6s, yeah.
You can work around it, but like.
And I got a VA guy for you too.
You got to at least have a 630.
A guy who will serve, like, he's one of my partners in one of my deals, but his side job is servicing VA loans.
So like the first thing I finally got to though too is one of my other things, like in Afghanistan, I was blown up, got a concussion, whatever. I got my disability, and now it's like at 31 years old, I already know I'm guaranteed $4,000, between $35,000 to $4,000 a month for the rest of my life. So it's like, do I go to the club, buy Gucci flip-flops, splurge with it, or how can I make that money, make money while I'm still only young? That's what I was like, when you said, what?
You can get into that property with no money out of your pocket. You buy the right property now. 3-4 years from now, you refinance out of your VA loan, meaning, so say back to the $100,000 property, you pay it down to what's no money. It wouldn't be, if it's a market that you find in the right market, right area, right property that is on the up and ups, it appreciates in value, and you can refinance out of your VA loan, take the cash out of the refinance, and now use your VA loan on another property, and then do it again, and then do it again, and teach your boys while you're doing it. Like, because why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, they do not want you to know this shit, because everyone would know it otherwise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why isn't everybody buying a duplex and renting out the other side?
I was reading the other ones, like the percentages of your disability also counteracts the amount of taxes and stuff you have to pay. So it's like, for me, like if I was to get a house in New Jersey, if it's $40,000, I guess, whatever the tax bill is, I'm exempt from it automatically. Some places, I'm 100% exempt from the taxes.
That's wild.
So it's like, it's crazy learning it, but it's just like, I never knew how to use it, because it's like
absolutely.
a shit ton of information to learn at one time.
Absolutely. But no, it's you can execute on it. And look, I'm here to help every single one of you guys figure out what your niche is and execute on it. don't know if Owen, you want to kind of give like a little example of just how much I've been helping you a little bit and trying to figure out what you want to do with real estate. I met Owen at a real estate meetup, January 8th, so it's literally going on a month ago. And I saw myself in him. Like I was like, fuck, you're here. Like why wasn't I here when I was in college?
He said that. That's like what you said. You said you were doing real estate, but you weren't really doing it. You weren't going to the networking events. You weren't following up with people. And that was one thing you told me. There's fortune in the follow-up.
There is fortune. That's something I heard literally 7 months ago. There is fortune in the follow-up. Every single day, you guys all see opportunities pass and go, pass and go. Or you've seen opportunities, or you had opportunities. How many times did you not follow up? You know what I'm saying? The real fortune is in the follow-up. Like, how many of you guys are gonna follow up with me with this?
Absolutely.
Like, the odds say that at least one of you guys won't. Like, it's true, but like the fortune is in the follow-up. Like it's trick. That's where the magic happens. If you're gonna continue it, or is it something you get excited about? It's a fad for 2 weeks and then fuck real estate.
I don't really personally want to be in school, but being that the military pays for it, it's like mine as well. But it's like, you know, if I could put it into some other passions, I'd rather do that.
I'm not passionate about playing football, but I was paying for my real estate. Real shit.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? See, look at that, 26.
26 years old. Like, trust me, I'm you. Like, I am you. Like, think of me as you. I am not. Don't put me on a pedestal because I'm an NFL player, or because like don't think it was easier because I was an NFL because I'm an NFL player, because it's not. I'm not like you guys don't fucking know me. You didn't know me before you met me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a guy. I'm self-aware enough to know I'm not a guy when it comes to the NFL, but I'm a guy in real estate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you guys got any other questions?
So would you say like a good networking opportunity would be like to try to like leech off of a conversation and get to like a real estate group?
No, well, yeah. Well, literally, the first thing you do is you sign up for Bigger Pockets, 1. 2, you literally, on Bigger Pockets, there's an area on there for meetups, local meetups. You attend all of them. They're an hour from here. That's what you want to do. And then you download the app called Meetup. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, yep.
Type in real estate on Meetup, and you'll be surprised how many fucking people are meeting about real estate right next to you.
They have a ton of categories because they have some for computer science and programming too, especially in New
Oh
York.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pull up to one of them. I promise you, like, that's when the magic happens. But then where the magic doesn't happen is when you don't follow up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why is this happening right now? Because he followed up.
It's true. Like, when they say fortune, is not like, $1 million in the follow-up, but it's the knowledge behind it. Like, you know, so I got connected. I got his number, and every single time I schedule a call, he would call me either 5 minutes before or on time. And that really meant something to me because I want to be a real estate investor. I'm not going to call myself one until I secure my first deal. But every time he got on the phone with me, for as long as I need him to, he's giving me the information I need. I'm asking him question after question after question. He's giving me answers. And if he doesn't have it, he's going to find out for me. And I apply that. And so now that happened, I go to other real estate meetups. I get someone's number. The next day I text him. I'm like, hey, thank you for the knowledge last night. Can't wait to have coffee with you or something. And it's really just about being genuine with people. Like, you know, I'm not out here approaching people because I want them to put me in a deal that's gonna make me $1 million. But if they see I'm genuine and I want to gain knowledge, they will go out their way for me and put me in a position that I want to be in.
It's so true. And you figure out in that process while you're meeting that person, while you're learning what they do and how their business works. You can ask him this morning. I was in New York City this morning. Back to fortune in the follow-up. I was at a networking event the 22nd of January. There's a guy sitting next to me. I just know he's got, you can just tell the energy. You just know he's got some shit. Like, he's got a fire-ass business idea. And it's just true. We're being real here.
Cool-ass dude, too.
And I'm sitting next to him, but I didn't really have much time to talk to him because I had to go to Denver right after the meeting for the partner up with this company for that business in Michigan. But I followed up, and like literally, I was in his office. Like just unreal. Just like following up where it can take you. Like we had a 3.5 hour, 4 hour meeting talking about essentially how to change the fucking world. He's got a company that's called Carbon, and they're creating scalable businesses and processes in third world countries. So they're starting in Ghana, and they've got like one of the first things they got is it's a water
filtration system.
Filtration system for water they got from Guatemala that they're going to set people up with. Okay, you have to pay $2 a month for. It costs $30 maybe. You pay $2 a month for a year and a half, and you get it you get it instantly. So now you got a pot filtration system. Now you got clean water. Because only I think 70% of Ghanaian water is dirty water, and like they got really bad. It's like a tapeworm type disease that is in the water over there. It was just a wild, just dope comment. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like the last question I asked him is, how can I add value? Like how can I help? He was like, bro, you should like actually if you could brainstorm on how because I want to bring real estate and infrastructure to these places so we can create like an innovation center or some shit like that. So I'm going to send you the pitch deck and we could develop some. And I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. Do you know what I mean? But it all started with the follow-up. And like, this is something I'm not going to have to probably put my money into, but my expertise is real estate. I know real estate and I can help. Like, that's where I can add value. You know math. That's where you can add value. You can analyze deals and shit. You figure out where you can add value in different things. And you ingrain yourself and learn shit the full amount about it. Like at first, when I first got into real estate, the only way I could add value was my network. Because I was in the NFL, I had a whole bunch of rich guys around me. But as I finagled through the process, I fucking learned everything. And I leached on to everybody until you're gonna get sick of me. Like literally, like call me until I get sick of you. And I'll tell you if I'm fucking sick of you. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna get sick of you because this is my passion. Like this is what keeps me up at night. This is what, like, I drove 13 hours from Jersey to St. Louis, and I was able to do it because I was on the phone talking about real estate the whole time. Like, I could have stayed up for 24 hours straight, 48 hours straight, because it's what literally lights a fire under my ass. And like,
Question.
What's up?
What do you think about commercial real estate?
Apartments are commercial real estate. So anything over 4 units is considered commercial real estate. Are you saying like
Businesses and like.
It depends on what you know. I don't invest in shit that I don't know. So are you going to invest in a pizza shop? You don't know pizza, you know what I mean? Because it's cheap, you're going to buy it. That's not a smart investment. It depends on like when you like what was your idea? Like what came into your head when you asked that?
Like the way China is buying out the building structures in New York, and that all of the businesses are part of, or they rent to them basically.
What, the Asians? Or they're
China, like say IBM. For like a company like that, they have to pay China's because of they own it.
Oh, it's just their investors, bro. And from a commercial perspective, those big ass skyscrapers. It's a multi-family property with a couple single tenant commercial tenants at the bottom, like a restaurant or a so and so. Is that what you're talking about? Like a skyscraper essentially, and like their rent is going back to the Chinese, is because when you get with big ass real estate like that, like $100 million real estate, you're dealing with. It's called institutional money because it's essentially what I'm getting. Like when I'm going to get this family office, we got $150 million, so now we can use that. Most people can't compete with someone who has $150 million because I can buy it at full price. You have to buy it at a discount.
Exactly.
The Chinese come over with different insurance companies and stuff like that. So I'm working on actually a deal. I'm actually working on the same thing. Back to networking, same exact shit. Added value to this guy in St. Louis, but long story short, he just sold his whole entire portfolio to the Chinese. The Chinese buy a whole lot of shit because from an exchange rate perspective, it's beneficial to them. Like we're going to use Chinese investors we're going to do this hotel development in Canada, and back to the numbers and exchange rate shit, it makes more sense for a Chinese investor who can spend more than somebody else because of their exchange rate, the way the money works, and because they're dealing with institutional capital, which is like an insurance company. The way an insurance trust will buy $100 million buildings and shit like that to get 3% returns on their money, 2% returns. Yeah. Whereas I need to get my investors 9 to 10% returns, so I can't buy that same property at the same price that you just bought it at.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If you're selling a property, you're gonna sell it to the guy who's paying more fucking money.
Yeah.
But that's why. I'd never buy in New York though. Not in the city unless it was a steal. It doesn't make sense. It's not. That's for, if you're investing in New York, it's for show. It's like, look at me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wouldn't say owning a sports team, but yeah, it's like people own sports teams. They're not making much money off of it. Like the NFL is 31 of the richest people in the world playing fantasy football. That's it. With fucking real people's lives, with family and all that shit. Like if you played fantasy football and you had enough money to get people to analyze what the players were gonna do here and that and who you should draft and all that, what do you think an NFL front office is? A bunch of MBAs with financial knowledge who can put a number to a person. Like, okay, this guy he's a 1 in terms of star, but we pay him $450,000 as opposed to this guy who's a 3-star and we pay him $3 million, so we should cut the $3 million guy because he can do that. But with that one, like, there is nothing to do with merit. It is straight up, it's business. That's all it is. Like, shit's wild, bro.
The other thing with Harrison Barnes, he was traded mid-game.
Mid-game.
Just sitting down on the bench and.
Well, you got to think. Well, you also. I mean, I learned that a long time ago because if you always think about why teams have a cap, no matter how rich the owner is, it's to keep everything balanced like that. Because literally, like, you know, why you think LA, Boston, and all them have so many championships?
Fuck you money, bro. Like, that's straight up what it's called. It's fuck you money. Like, you want to? No, fuck you. Like, they can say it to anyone in the fucking world because they can. And they got enough money to get them out of any problem they're in. Oh, they're in a fight? You fucking fight them. Here's $100 million. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's straight up fuck. Like, it's a whole nother level. Like, a whole nother level. But that meeting that I just had with that guy this morning was at the office where the Carolina Panthers, that sale, it was brokered in that office. It's like wild. Like, back to fortune in the follow-up, bro. That's real shit. Like, that guy, remember he kept mentioning a dude named Chuck?
Yeah.
That's the guy. Like, shit's wild.
Shit was nice. A nice office.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, that's really that's my story. But I'm really here to, like, I want to figure out, like, how. First thing that you have to do is like latch on to Owen, one, because I mean, Owen's always talking to me, but you guys have full access to me as well. But you have to get on that site, Bigger Pockets. Like, one thing about real estate, that shit is not gonna just come to you. Like, there is some professions, there's jobs, like there's whatever, where if you don't do shit, you'll still make a decent amount of money. You know what I'm saying? You make a solid $50,000 just because you got a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, real estate isn't that at all. Like, that's not what it, like, if you want this is something you want to do, like, it's gonna take a little work. But depends on if you want to be making, when you graduate, an extra $5,000 a month passively. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's awesome. Like, now you don't have to rush into a job because you have, like, I'm not playing, like, I'm retiring. I'm not playing next year.
Yeah, that's my dream.
Because I don't have to.
I got 3 daughters, so if I can find me a place where I can, like, go to barber school, get my license, but I own the place where I cut hair at, I'll be set.
We can set that up.
Yeah.
But you said own the barber school.
I want to, no, not own the barber school. I'll go to barber school. It's the VA loan to pay for it, so that'll be free of cost.
You go to barber school.
I buy, like, maybe a 5-family home in Cary, North Carolina, because that's where I love that place. The place is beautiful.
So cheap too in North Carolina.
It's there, very cheap there.
Jeez.
And that way, like, you know what I mean, my disability is set, you know, the house pays for the barber shop, and the barber, you know, it all pays for itself, and all I gotta do is cut hair. So my girl would say, hey, daddy, I want you to be at the game. I can be at the game, like, cause I already miss so much being in the military.
That's it. That's so what it's all about.
That's what I want to get to.
And it's really also, what's your why, and why are you doing it? I have a 5-month-old newborn. Like, shit's real. Like, I know, like, that's why I can't, like, this is what I'm passionate about, but I'm also playing football. I can't do this and play football. No shot. Like, you guys might see me one more time if I play football, maybe, or maybe next year, maybe about a year from now you see me. Like, because that's how fucking real it is. Once April hits, like, I have to take a nap midday because I'm so tired from working out and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no time. Like, I get 3 months out of the year to, then the season happens, and then rinse, repeat, and then I'm right back where I was. Like, can't be, like, I have done really well because I've managed my time well, but now having a daughter, you can't do that, bro. completely different ballgame. Is what's your why? Am I about to miss her first steps? Miss her first. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, lucky I was deployed when my first daughter was born. So I came back, she was already 7 months. So it's like, holy shit, Daddy didn't get to see nothing. It's crazy. Yeah.
our long,
for a whole year.
When I was in Detroit, our long snapper missed. He's got 5 kids. He missed all their first steps. All of their first steps. He didn't play for 15 years. Depends on what you want to do and what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really like, I'm not saying do it exactly how I did it, because you live your own life. Figure out what your why is. Figure out what your passion is, and that should kill you, like, straight up. But yeah, that's really what I got. Like, I wanted to, we can be as interactive as you want. Like, pull out your laptop. I'll show you how to set up bigger pockets. Like, I'll show you all that shit. Let me grab mine. You can put this.
But I want to do it through technology.
It's awesome. You can probably find, like, the more you network, and if you figure out real estate is kind of cool to you.
Yeah, it is.
Trust me, there's facets in real estate where there's so much shit where you need to figure out the tax aspect of it. I can't honestly remember.
How you doing? Oh, yeah. Right on.
How you doing?
Hakeem.
You said bigger pockets, correct?
Yeah. Biggerpockets.com.
It
Do you have an app? And honestly, when I got on Bigger Pockets first in 2015, and the app was shitty because I never used it. I was using the mobile version. It's been 4 years. I honestly don't know, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't have it on my phone. You can check. It was really.
It's there, but I didn't know what it was.
It's definitely there, but it wasn't good. It was like
I shouldn't download it? No, it's good.
It's good now. I really haven't used it in 4 years. Like, I have no idea. Yep, create your own account, and like once you create your account, like, bro, it's literally like use it like Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, like, you guys should start really something I'm starting to hold on to is getting, like, whatever you're passionate about. You're passionate about tech, like you're passionate about whatever. Like, I'm passionate about real estate. So when I'm on social media, like, I don't really do shit on Instagram. If I'm on Instagram, what I usually do, because I want to become really a thought leader in the space of real estate. So I gotta get more of a following in the real estate world. What do most stupid people do? They pay for some followers, or they just start spamming people. Instead, be organic about it. I'll literally, whenever I find myself on Instagram, I'll search on the tags page, like the explore page, and I'll type in multifamily. Scroll up and down, up and down, up and down. If I see something that looks cool, post a comment every time, over and over and over.
Type in.
So what exactly you guys doing now?
Well, we just got done. I mean, for the last hour, we were talking about my story in real estate. So my name is Hakeem. I invest in real estate in a couple different markets across the country. I just finished my 3rd year in the NFL. Essentially, I'm teaching you guys is that you can network your way into your first real estate deal. You don't need to be a millionaire
Agent,
to
broker,
invest in real estate.
like investor.
There's
Investor.
different ways that you
Yeah.
can figure out your way to add
So
value
it's
to
different
someone.
Forums
You
right
can
on
be a
here.
part of it.
People just talking about their different
Do you have your phone
real
number?
estate problems. So you can just click on any forum and see what people are talking about.
So
You
what
can learn
everybody's doing right
something
now
new.
is creating an account on the site called Bigger Pockets. It's just like
So now you
Facebook
come here,
for real estate.
and let's say we type in college, right? Let's just type in college.
What you want, BP?
Yeah. See what just comes up.
So beside to deal, when the next time you guys gonna
You have to ask him. I'm not sure. What's the one?
So like, you see people.
Oh
talking
yeah,
about,
you can be brutally
like,
honest
I'm
on
about to
everything
drop
on
my
there.
real estate, want to get started on my real estate.
There's no need to like.
Just asking
And a
people
lot
for
of people
general
want to get
advice.
into the
So you can
entrepreneur space.
realistically just
They like
hop
to
in here
polish
like,
it.
look, my
You know,
name
like,
is, this is how I have my
I'm supposed to be a
setup.
real estate investor, so I gotta act like one now. So I gotta get a fancy so and so, and a fancy this, and a fancy that, and these guys wear
I say,
Rolex. So I
I'm
gotta
a new
get
real
one.
estate investor in New
Just
Jersey,
people
New York,
fucking rent.
Pennsylvania
Go
area.
rent
I
like
tell
a
people what I
car.
bring to the table, and I tell them what I'm
Take a
looking for, and
picture
so I'm
of
looking
that
for an
shit.
experienced mentor to
Right.
guide me in the right direction. And the reason why I want that is,
My brother's a DJ.
so now people
For
hitting
someone
me
that
up.
do a lot of work, like Success
Alright, so
One,
no, actually,
and all that, and I see
people
him
not gonna hit you up.
doing it for
You
years.
gotta hit the people.
Just
You
like
gotta put
I
in the
left,
work,
came back
hit
to
the
the
people
military,
up.
whatever, and I see
And
like
they
his
gonna help
progress.
you.
And
And now
he's
you
made
have
it.
10 different mentors.
But I mean, when I
that
see
tell
like
you,
other people,
look,
like
this
these
how you
wild
can
out,
gain to
so
your first
this young
deal.
boy like me, we was both
Or
young.
save this
started
amount
out,
how much
doing
you
the
could drop this
skate
month.
park
The
for free.
FHA, you have
Just,
credit
you
card.
see the work ethic is kind of
Barely.
different. You see the level
But
he
a
at.
college job,
But it's like
that's about
you
it.
see that a lot in the entertainment.
How
business.
active
You
is
see
it?
the rappers that come in and
I'll
want to
use
use
it
the next
for like more
rapper,
than
so
like
they like
for books and
renting
stuff.
money or
Everyone's
borrowing
like,
money to
it'd
come
be a
to the
rare
strip
case
club
when I
and do a
use it.
performance and all that stuff.
And you
It's
say
like
you paid
Be
off.
yourself,
though.
bro.
yeah, it's be who you are.
Every human is.
That's more than good,
It's
bro.
good. 7 is, 1 to 7 is good.
I'm 7 is good.
7 is good.
Be like everybody else, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like to get an FHA, the guy at the bank I talked to, he said you need a 530
What, credit score?
to get an
It
FHA.
really probably is probably that low. It's really like when I say like the word mortgage. I can't remember what if somebody had Google what the word mortgage
It
means.
basically
At
means
its core.
the hand. It says something about hand and
In your
even.
throat. Yeah.
So even after death, you're still paying, right?
That's
It's
right.
something like that.
That's what a mortgage is. It was literally the single family home was created by the bank. So mortgages could happen so they could survive essentially. That at the core of what it is and what it's for.
Are we talking about like the original definition or just like the regular Merriam-Webster definition?
Of a mortgage? No, like
Unless
what the
you're-
word means at its core, like the Latin.
yeah, yeah.
You just said it.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting strength. It's like a death sentence type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it literally means death. A death pledge.
Death pledge. That's
It
it.
is. Subject to claim my obligation. Too subject to claim my obligation.
That's what a mortgage is. For a house, but if you finesse it, in an apartment, every tenant's their mortgage.
And if you have a significant other, you could get another one.
Exactly. That's what me and my fiance.
I was actually curious. I just realized they have investor psychology also.
Say it again.
They have investor psychology. I mean, I'm a psych major, so I could definitely go hand in hand with my major.
Like, do they have anything like within our majors? We're both psych.
Okay,
majors,
so
they got anything like
Whenever we have
actually
something coming up,
psychology
I'll text you.
Because he said he saw that. So.
Which now,
In what sense? What do you mean, like investor?
just look at psychology and it says introduction class in the mindset of the investor. And
Oh, it's just the mindset.
Oh,
of investor.
no, you don't need a smartphone. You don't need a
how to analyze
smartphone.
deals,
Just to come
how
to
fund
events.
deals,
No, you don't
looking
need a
at the
smartphone. I should just
situation,
text the
investors,
location.
You know, like how an associate always tries to find a way to get what they want.
look up psychology.
The other person.
100%. And I
so
think
it's
with
best to
real
use a
estate, the
computer
best part about
so
real
you
estate,
can
compared
reach
to
out
most
to other
industries,
people in the area.
That's your
And
or just life,
that's
we're all
it is. You just
wired
network
to
with
think that
everybody.
competition,
So
whenever you're
tell
doing
people
anything,
that
any
you
type
want
of
to invest in
transaction,
this
or if
area,
you're a winner,
ask them how you can invest, how much you're going
Real
to need,
estate,
how much of the property is in the area.
you can always find
then
win-win
all this, when
situations.
you're getting all this
You can get
information,
creative as you
it's now
want.
easier for you to
That's
make your
honestly
decision.
my hands down favorite form.
Definitely.
So how can you like
Especially with the VA stuff.
Well, yeah, I got
I'm
make sure.
scared to I've always been, because I don't want to fuck it up, almost. You know what I'm
Nah, you'll
saying?
be straight.
Yeah.
You'll be 100% straight. They
Okay,
owe
so
you. Go get it.
you don't need to
Wanna
work
say
with us,
specialist?
So how would you
but we
start
can.
off?
How would
we
I
might
start
know
off?
someone
If I was you right
who
now,
wants to
like,
work with
today,
you.
I'm
You know,
literally going
because
through
we're all
the
college
process.
students. We
I would
don't.
like,
Me personally, I don't have
Hi, my
enough
name
money
is
to invest
XYZ.
right now.
I'm a
But
so-and-so at Kean
I know
University.
someone
My major
who
is blah,
might
blah,
be
blah,
looking
blah,
for an
blah.
investor, or I know someone who might be selling the house.
Some type, I just met,
And,
me, like my
that could be
investor,
for
blah,
you.
blah, 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 blah.
You know.
And I'm looking to get into, like, as you do your research, or you can say I'm looking to start investing in real estate. And I'm looking
Okay,
to
all right.
connect
Take care.
with local investors. And you put like a post out on the, like there's forums and there's local forums.
All right.
Type in
Yes,
local
that's
forums.
me.
You can look at posts in the New Jersey local forum. And bam, that goes. So I get every time somebody posts in that, I get a notification, and I'll usually check it out and maybe write something back. Like cool, whatever. But as soon as you make that post, people respond like, "Hi, what's going on? From so and so, New Jersey. I'm doing so and so out here. If you ever want to do this, do that." Or some people just like, "Hey, welcome to the game." And then, bro, every single person that hits me back, what am I doing? I'm messaging them right back. Thanks for the warm welcome. I really appreciate it. What type of properties are you investing in? Oh, I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. What you're going to find out in real estate is people like to show off. Like, inherently, people like to show off their shit. That's natural.
Yeah.
And most investors, Their wives don't care that they're investing in real estate. The kids don't care that they're investing in real estate, and their friends don't care they're investing in real estate. So if you start bringing up real estate and getting inherently interested in their shit, they're gonna want to show you everything. Like, that's when that's like what I do right now. Then I was literally a 21, 22-year-old walking through properties with these random investors, like them showing their shit off, explaining all their efficiencies of their property, everything, just learning at an accelerated pace because you're learning by experience. Them getting in a car with investors taking me on his properties. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Taking me in and out, showing me everything, his office, all that shit. And like, then you get coffee, you learn, okay, what do you want to do? X. Okay, I want to do blah, 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 blah. And it's, you do that over and over and over and over and over again. Like, people, people are starting to go away from the term of, you have to understand delayed gratification. Like, shit's not gonna happen overnight. You're gonna get some responses, you're gonna get some dope responses, and you're gonna meet a lot of cool people, but it all go back to the original thing too. You're gonna start to get a couple responses, then you're gonna go into tandem with one person, and you're gonna say, fuck the other 5 people. Those 5 people could have been your next $1 million deal. Fortune is in the follow-up. Doesn't matter who it is, what meeting it is, what phone call it is, it has to do with it. If this is what you wanna do, take it. I was just in the car, we were driving here, and I was like, I took a phone call, or I had a phone call today, and I wanted to change the time of it because I had another meeting in New York, and I was like, fuck it, I just texted the guy, and I was like, you know what, if you could talk earlier, that'd be great, because like, instead of changing it, and I took the call, an amazing call, like, we're gonna do business. You know, this dude's been investing in single-family real estate forever, he wants to get into multifamily, he's also a professional speaker like myself, but wants to do some synergies with multifamily. It's like, awesome. Like, I'm so happy I actually took the call and did it. Another call, it was last week. It was a networking thing where I was like, this guy's probably going to try and, that event I was telling you about, the networking event, that guy actually charges like, he's an accelerated networker, and I got put into his group to go check out his event, and it was awesome. His price for it is $10,000 to be a part of it for a year. I mean, but he'll get you to where you want, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I can network myself. Like, either you can get it handed to you, or you can do the work yourself. But he was calling, and I was like, let me take the call. Took the call, 5-minute conversation, doesn't want me to pay, he wants me to be ambassador of his company, get people to come and still get the same benefits. Fortune is just
being genuine, bro.
Genuine, being yourself, all that. Like, exactly. He was like, that's exactly what he said. You're not gonna get much benefit out of you're paying $10,000, you probably do the same shit. But why don't you be an ambassador for my company, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So me and him are sitting down with a branding person like next week. Actually, not sitting down, conference calling and figuring out how we can market his company. Because he knows the most powerful people in the world, and he can get you in a room with anybody you want, essentially. But doesn't know how to brand it, how to market it. So it's just where do you see places you can add value? And the more you put your shit out there in the universe, the more you are the more shit you're into, those creative juices just start to get flowing. Like, every time I go to a meetup, like, I've literally only been to like 3 or 4 real estate meetups. And in the 7 years I've been investing. And every single one of them has been like unreal. Like, every single one of them I got like either business out of, a connection out of that'll be a lifetime, or a partner. But my issue, I sometimes don't have time, I'm not in the right cities, and it doesn't line up, and I don't put it as high as a priority as I should, but it's what it takes. Where's some of you guys' minds at with some of this stuff?
I don't know everything tomorrow.
You got to.
Especially now that you said it, like, damn.
And a big reason why you need to, like, tomorrow is because as the market keeps going, every single day interest rates get higher. Every single day. So you need to lock into a low interest rate, so you lock in the entire term of your loan. You wait 6 months, the market could crash, and they might not even be giving out loans there. Like, right now is the time, 100%. And then when the market crashes in the next 18 to 24 months, that's when you fucking buy everything. Because everybody's gonna be panicking, everybody's gonna be running amidst the bottom. The only way that shit can go is up.
Think about credit. I know there's a lot to do with credit and stuff.
What about credit?
Yeah. I know it has a lot to do with credit, and my credit is decent, but like, it needs to be better.
Yeah, what is it like? not an issue not to invest in real estate.
No?
Fuck no.
I mean, I just have one little card, you know what I mean?
Do you think me going to Germany for this $150 million deal, they care about my credit scores?
No.
Networking.
But network that shit. The only reason you need a credit score is to get an FHA loan. You're not gonna be able to use an FHA loan until you're out of college. Because you need a job. You need job history in order to get one. So that way is when you get out of college, that's how you're gonna buy your first property is with an FHA. Unless you have a job right now, it's gonna be pretty hard. Unless you have a substantial bank account and a job, you can't get one because that's what they want to see. How are you gonna pay it back? Unless it's a multifamily and the units are showing it's gonna pay it back. But right now it's networking, bro. Your credit doesn't fucking matter. Spend the next 2 years making sure it's right so when you get that FHA, but also in that 2 years, most people will leave a meeting like this and say, I can't invest in real estate until I get my credit up.
And it's not like this is something that we all need because we all want to live with our moms, grandparents forever. Like, you feel me? Like we have to do this on our own one day, and we might as well do it the right way. If you locked into a 30-year mortgage and you just did it just because, like,
You know what else I would do? Or try and do? If I could finesse it, I couldn't finesse it with my parents, but if your parents don't say got it, but bro, if you can convince your parents to co-sign on a fucking FHA loan with you, and instead of having them pay your rent for your fucking apartment for the next 2-3 years,
get your own stuff.
you get a duplex for, if it's $100,000 duplex, that's $3,500 is what the down payment is on it. You get what I'm saying? Wild, like if you can, like your parents can co-sign on some shit like that. Now you live in one side. Now you can uber finesse. This is one thing why if I was to do, I would do it this way. I'd get a fourplex, have my parents co-sign on it. Each thing would be 2 bedrooms. So instead of me getting rent per unit, college is different. You get rent per bed. So now you got 2 bedrooms. You got fucking you're living for free. Your roommate's paying say 500, whatever the market is in this market. Now you got 3 other units, but it's really like 6 other units because it's 2 beds in each one of them. And it's all students. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I was to do college again, 150%. I probably wouldn't be able to because I don't know how my parents' credit would have been, but I would try to finesse something like that. Like no doubt. If that didn't work, I would try and same thing with so one thing I'm doing right now to buy apartment complexes across the country is because the market is so hot right now, it's when you're getting bigger deals from brokers, they're going to be at retail value, meaning the highest and best price is going to get this deal. Whereas in the market at the bottom, you're getting shit for cheap and for discount, really what it's worth. So what I do is I direct mail and cold call motivated sellers to see if they're willing to sell their property to me. And
that was recruiting direct calling.
same shit in real estate, bro. And you straight up direct mail owners, and you do it to people who've recently faced an eviction, people who've divorced. Yeah, that's a big one. My assistant scours this site called apartments.com and looks at properties that have deferred maintenance, literally just by the picture. And if that picture, most properties on apartments.com have about 20 pictures. They show the interior, the exterior, all the bullshit. Yeah. But some properties only have 1 picture, exterior picture, the property's got long grass, all that shit. My assistant skip traces that information, meaning double back on it, and gets their address, gets their phone number, all that stuff. And now I can mail them and say, hi, I want to buy your property. Because that owner's probably pissed and sick of the property.
Question.
What's up?
Would it be valuable if you could automate that process and find all of the pictures that has like only one, picture, so you won't have to spend the time to.
I have a virtual assistant. You can audit probably by tech, but really it comes down to what I pay my virtual assistant $3.50 an hour. Like scouring apartment.com is a $3.50 an hour task. I'm not worth $3.50 cents. Like, as cocky and arrogant you think it sounds, like as you grow and as you start to make more money, you realize how valuable your time is. Like an hour or 2 hours of doing that shit when I could have been an hour and 2 hours of making calls or doing stuff like that, doing stuff like this, it's invaluable. Like my assistant, like the pitch for Germany. I explained everything I want in it, blah blah blah, all the information. She made it. She made the PowerPoint. I'm not in fucking school anymore. I gotta make a PowerPoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not even trying to say it like that, but like, I don't got time for it. Like, and seriously, like, I just don't. And shit, something if I was back in college, I would have probably bought an assistant. I probably had them do some of my work too. As fucked up and weird as it sounds. Hopefully I'm not bugged in here, but like seriously.
$350 an hour. That's
Because
not
an
enough.
assistant, I'm talking in the Philippines, this is Dawn, you didn't hear this from me. In the Philippines, there's a site called onlinejobs.ph. You can find someone as cheap as $1.10 an hour who has a master's degree.
$1.
Just to write the paper.
This is the shit that people won't tell you. Like Microsoft, Staples,
To
Apple,
write a
all those
paper?
people, their HR departments, their accounting departments,
Oh, outsourced.
they're all in the Philippines. Because they're not going to pay an American $50,000 a year to do HR, to do accounting, when you can pay someone with the same exact education in a place that actually has decent work rights. It's just the cost of labor is cheap as balls. It's wild. It's wild to even fathom. Onlinejobs.ph. Like I'll have like this meeting right now. We'll get like I'm gonna have a media team who breaks down all my videos overseas. And have someone write a blog post about this meeting overseas. Like I'm not a writer. You know what I'm saying? Like transcribing anything. Like the smallest minutia tasks that you could be spending a lot more valuable time doing things like doing real estate shit instead of doing homework.
Automated. That's the future. And yeah, bro, like
You need college. I don't want to say it like that. You don't need the stupid memorization shit that they offer in college, because where the tech and the fucking knowledge is going, like, okay, did you have to memorize your presidents at one point in your life?
Probably. Yeah, like probably like yeah, elementary.
Who was the 20th president?
Siri knows that shit.
I forgot that.
James Garfield. That's how fucking fast you can find out. As long, like, I can find that on my phone faster than someone can think about it. Like, that's where the world's going. And you don't need to regurgitate stupid information that you're learning in school, because most of it is accessible right here within
Seconds.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you figure out what your time, figure out what's valuable in your time, and figure out what means what to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do with the system, but just know you can hire someone that cheap. And they can legitimately do damn near anything. Like, I had an architect build me a, quote me for how much it would cost for him to make a 3D render of a property. $11,000. If I go in that shit, it's $3 an hour. Something to do it. It's small stuff like that, but like I want to provide this type of shit to you, because honestly no one else is going to tell you, and you're not going to read it anywhere, because it's small shit. Like I read that in like literally the smallest sense of some book, and they recommended the site. It's paid its fucking dividends having this assistant. Like changed my life, like straight up, in terms of like how busy I used to be on just stupid shit. Now you can actually focus on big picture, creative level shit, and what shit that actually makes you feel like how I feel right now, just juicing, flowing, and just not stressing over. Oh fuck, I gotta do this stupid ass. Bam, bam, bam.
I got a paper. Well, I got 2 papers.
Is that what you're passionate about? You gonna be a writer?
Programming assignments.
Word, that should be.
That's what they think we are, writers.
Online jobs.
PH. And you can do that for anything. Like when I go speak and go get paid somewhere, I need to build an invoice. Like, I don't know how to fucking make an invoice. I don't want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you a simple ass invoice that my assistant makes, but it's like I don't want to do that. Like it's hard. It's not hard, but it's like
It's time consuming.
it's time consuming, and my time is worth so much more than that.
Yeah.
1 second. I'm gonna show you this shit.
It's crazy because, yeah, dang. Do all that
Something as simple as that.
crazy, do all that shit in the military.
As simple as an invoice. Hey, I need this invoice sent out to this school for $300. Can you make it? Boom.
All of this.
5 minutes later, it's sent out. She sends the email for me.
That's crazy.
It's literally as simple as that. Like it's so small, but I would not want to make that.
$300?
No. That's how much I was getting paid for this speaking gig.
That's the invoice.
That's the invoice that, like, I negotiate. Okay, we're paying you $300, Hakeem. I'm like, all right, cool. They say, hey, Hakeem, can you send over an invoice for blah? I'm like, an invoice? What the fuck? Hey, can you make me an invoice for blah 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 blah? Bam, and sent it over. Like that's the small stuff that will take a normal entrepreneur 5-6 hours to figure out. What the fuck? I gotta do this. Those 5 to 6 hours.
Do something much more valuable, essential to the company.
Depends on how you value. Like I see time. Like time is so expensive. Like so expensive. Like you can't get back. Like
You can make your money back. You can't get your time back.
you can't at all. Like at all. That's 6 hours out the fucking drain. I could have played with my daughter. I could have did this. I could have did that so I could play with my daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's real. Like but it's small stuff like that. You know, like if this is not what you're gonna do, like use a VA for tech shit. Like I'm sure there's shit in tech that you don't like doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever you're gonna be able, like whatever you're gonna wind up doing, like
IT.
you want an app. You want an app built out. Somebody in India built that shit out for you for fucking like dirt cheap. It'll take like 2 months, but dirt cheap.
Yeah.
But you go to one of the Silicon Valley people, charge you about 20 grand, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some of the secrets to the sauce, real shit. But yeah, any more questions, guys? This is super, not only valuable to you, it's valuable to me. I learned by teaching. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope process, but yeah.
So what
You just
percentage?
changed his life.
Yeah,
Like,
man, you just made shit hella
Like,
easy.
I'm about to produce papers. I'm about to finish some papers. Fuck it.
Dead ass.
Would you like something?
So like, if you have a percentage of like simplexes, duplexes, threeplexes, fourplexes, and single family homes, like how would you like break it down in terms of like what you find more profitable or like? I don't know.
Say over single family. Unless you're rich, unless you got a wife and kid, and that's where they want to be at. And that's gonna give them peace. You don't need a single family house until you're settled. And you got it. You don't need it. It's bringing you nothing. Like straight up. It's almost more valuable to rent in the short term than to buy a single family house, because in the long term it's detrimental. Not detrimental, but it's fucking detrimental. My bad. Yeah, so I would say I'm an avid multifamily, because one, from a scaling perspective, think about it like this. You got a single family house. Unit goes vacant. How much money are you making?
None.
You got a 10-unit property. Unit goes vacant. It's still making a profit. Yeah, they're not. Same process, same time to get that property, just a couple more zeros at the end. Like straight up. Like take the exact amount of days. You might have to raise money, which isn't, I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's just a different process. It really isn't that hard, because once you become knowledgeable about a subject, you're not bullshitting somebody, it's not hard to raise money. Most times people think it's hard to raise money because they're selling bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Or they're raising money for something that's bullshit. So it's like, oh man, it's so much trouble. You know what I'm saying? I was like, real estate's real. Like it's what it is. It is what it is. Unless you're lying about the numbers, lying about what you're gonna do, lying about your team, lying about your processes. If you're being genuine, at the end of the day, you don't want to invest, and you don't want to invest. Like, it's not like it's. Most people have trouble trying to raise money because they're full of shit. Honestly, they're trying to posture. You know, showed up to the meeting in a rented car because they want to look good. You know what I'm saying? They're not being themselves. They got a suit on that's too fucking big because they're trying to be somebody they're not. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself and like run with it. Like if you wear jackets like that, denim jackets, wear that shit. That's your shit. You wear ties, do that. Own that shit. I usually wear sport coats, sometimes t-shirts, however I'm feeling. I don't give a fuck what I wear. Because if I'm in a room where somebody's judging me off of what I'm wearing, fuck you.
Exactly.
I don't want to be in that room. Like straight up. Like straight up. But yeah, so if you're asking me what would I recommend, is always always multifamily to start with, just because. I'm not gonna say always, because there's always the situation where, who knows, something comes across its desk, and it might be like a quick flip that just makes sense. And like if you know business, you know business. You know what's a good deal and you know what's not a good deal, straight up. But to start with, like to scout, like to when you're looking across the market, and I always say multifamily, just because everything else, it's gonna take the same amount of time, same amount of process, the same learning curves and all that. But you're gonna make a lot more money. So you got a handyman now. You got a handyman, let's say in this town. But you got 50 properties, 50 single family houses. That's a lot of shit. You might need 4 handymen to do that. If you got a 50 unit apartment building, you only need 1. It's all in one place, it's scalable. A plumber, it's the same place. You don't have to send a plumber to 50 different houses and deal with that. It's just one property. It's from a scaling perspective. It just makes the most sense, and it's so much more. 50 houses, it's 50 roofs that all eventually have to be replaced.
Yeah.
One building, that's one roof. It don't take, but like during the season, I could say up about midnight 1. It's really just passion. Like I'm more passionate about real estate than I am about football. That's what it is. But like, yeah, I got to be able to perform. I know my limits of what and how I can perform off of what. You know what I'm saying? But it's really about how are you going to allocate your time, how are you going to manage your time. Like most guys in the league, like there's all like, even if you don't think you have time, trust me, you got time. You got to really, really, really look at your processes and the shit you do. And like I said, you got to sacrifice who you are for what you want to become. Like if you want to be a real estate investor, a millionaire, entrepreneur, doing this, impacting this, doing your shit with that, you can't be the same person who's going to fucking out every Friday night, maybe Thursdays too, day drinks on the weekends. Like, I have friends who, I'm saying like not fucked up places, but like, so they come to me like, bro, like you're so lucky, blah, blah, blah. I'm not fucking lucky, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fucking lucky. Like I take offense to that shit. Like I put the work in for this shit. Like this isn't luck. Like this is like the result, like the pure result of hard work. Like that's what it is. Like it's not like it's straight up delegating and figuring out what your strengths are, what really lights you on fire. Because once you figure out what lights you on fire, you're gonna forget all just fuck all the other shit. You know what I'm saying? What makes you feel young? What makes you feel alive? And then run with it. Like not because like people always like not because what people say. Like people won't like why the fuck are you gonna stop football? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Blah blah blah. Blah, blah. No, like, it's not what. It's taken away from my happiness at the end of the day. You fucking die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like I was wild story, wild tangent. Back in 2015 when I got my undergrad, I was in Haiti. Me and my family were out there for a missionary trip. We were giving out medicine at different orphanages and churches. And May 29th, middle of the night, 2:30, we're playing spades. 8 dudes came in, shot through the front door, kicked it down, shot at me, blindfolded me, hog-tied me, stole everything from the house. 45 minutes in there, just hog-tying everybody, punched a lady in the face, tried to rape another lady, left, came back, stole more shit, and then it was over. My perspective at the end of that is like, or you can like at any moment, like any moment. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but because you said that I have to be in the NFL to be happy, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not like what's gonna actually satisfy you, make you happy, and then like I'm gonna say you'd be at peace with dying, but like you don't want to be on some fucking doing some shit you don't love and some shit like that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real. Like that should put shit in real perspective. Like I'm out here helping people in the third world country, my own people, giving out food, giving out medicine, giving my time, and I get robbed, shot at, tied up, all that. Like perspective on a whole nother level. Like think about those people. What the fuck were they going through to have to do some shit like that to me? Feed their kids at night. Shit. I know if I couldn't feed my kids, I'll rob the fuck out of you, bro. Like on some real shit. Like that's life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real. Like it's fucked up, but it's real perspective. Like that's the world we live in. 2 weeks later, those same guys try to do it to another group of people. The town caught them and burned them alive in front of everybody, and then shot them dead while they were suffering. Like, that's the world we live in. Like take advantage of this shit. Like straight up. He's seen some shit. Some real shit. Like take advantage of this shit. Like literally it's straight up. You have to take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime in the lifetime of the opportunity. Because this shit is not forever. 2 years from now, if you're not figuring this shit out or figuring out how to get something else going, you're gonna have to get a job. Do you know what I'm saying? If you got loans, you gotta pay it back. Unless you're gonna live at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now you have the utmost free time. You don't even have your fucking parents here to nag on you.
That shit is like real life shit that he's saying. Like, me, I was fortunate I joined the military, but like I got other younger siblings that they don't realize health insurance runs out under your parents once you hit 25. They don't realize simple shit like just something as simple as basic like that. You can't go to the doctors no more. It's not free. You get that tab, your tooth is hurting, now you gotta pay $2,000 just for them to look at it, and then to fix it is another $5. You know, nobody plans for that because nobody teaches you that in school anywhere. So it's just like boom, you know, you move out, like you said, you get a regular job, 9 to 5 or whatever, you got an apartment, then boom, that job lay you off. It's not union, some shit. Guess what happens? Like we were just talking about the other day, you can't pay your rent, boom, you out on the street, and like, say that shit kick back on, like with the government closing down. That shit kick back on in 3 months, your landlord ain't gonna care. They even recoup and pay you back that money, but guess what? If you didn't have a pot to piss in, or you didn't have no savings, you're fucked. You gotta start all over, and getting kicked out is worse. Like I said, I had an eviction. Luckily, I was still active duty military, so it really, I just was like, fuck it. But like, $9,000 in the hole, I owed them. Imagine if I wasn't active duty and I wasn't protected and had all those rules. I would have had to pay that $9,000 back before I could even get another apartment. Shit's crazy, real life. So that's why I'm like, I'm anxious to jump on it.
And it's really like, back when you saying all those payments and shit, it reaches a point where if you don't have something else like this, because I'm not, like I've said, I'm not trying to put this passion on you, because this is my passion. It doesn't have to be your passion, but it's something you should learn, you should hone, understand, and take advantage of it. Because once those bills do start coming, the only way to pay them is to get a job. And then that time freedom shit that you got right now, it's gone. 9 to 5, every fucking day. Weekends, you gotta drink, you gotta party to get the fuck away from that 9 to 5. And that's it. That's fucking 40 years, and that is what our parents did. That's what 97% of America does. Like 3% of Americans own 97% of all the fucking money. Because the 97% do the same exact shit. The 3% do some different shit, like invest in real estate, like read fucking books, podcasts, like the small lag, like they're called lead measures versus lag measures. Like a lead measure is something that's small. Like doing the small shit now is what's gonna set you up. Or by the time you're done, like, bam, like you already got a solid foundation. You might be partnered up with a few different people on real estate deals because you've networked your way into it. And now you're out, you know what? I don't need a fucking job right now. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, full disclosure, like, yesterday, just to solidify the fact that I'm not going to play anymore with the NFL, because the marijuana deal I was telling you about that I own a stake in, it's like, you know, fuck it, I own 25% of this land. I sold, because of the value of the land after we got that offer on it, I sold 2.6% of my 25%, $50,000 yesterday. That's fucking leverage. You know what I'm saying? Adds value somewhere, and you can pull that shit out when you want it, when you need it. Like, if I wanted to, I could make $50,000 last for 5 years. But now I got a kid and shit like that, obviously. But, do you know what I'm saying? Like, now there's just so much more opportunity. You can take that, you put in another deal, or you can, I don't want to work. I want to travel for a year, but I want to be frugal about it and still do real estate shit while I'm traveling. That's the beauty of real estate. You can do that shit all across the world, anywhere. It's global. That shit from my laptop.
It's on your taxes too. You can write it off on your taxes. Take a trip. It's a business trip.
I say from a real estate perspective, my first year in the my rookie year was in 2016. Tax returns in 2016 were $4,000. Didn't have a rental property. 2017, as soon as that, like January, I bought that fourplex. 2017 tax returns, $26,000. Difference. tax, bro, the tax, all that shit is written on. All your expenses, all different shit. You save all your receipts, all your repairs that got done on all your properties. And you just bring it to your tax guy. What can I do with this? The difference was that much in fucking my tax return. Like, that small shit. Like, I'm crazy about receipts. You know what I'm saying? That's bread, you leave it on the table, straight up. But you only get those type of tax benefits if you invest in real estate.
What's your email address?
My first name,
Shout out to him.
Hakeem Valles. It's .invest.
Close my phone when I act up.
Sorry, Hakeem, by the way.
Hi, Tatiana.
Nice to meet you, Tatiana.
Isaiah.
Nice to meet you, Isaiah.
Yeah, we're late. We came from work.
Nah, you're straight.
Hakeem.
Valles. V as in Victor. A-L-L. E-S.
Then not invest.
Yes, sir. How'd you know? I guess I'll give you guys a little quick recap of the stories. So my name's Hakeem. I went to Monmouth, right down the, not down the street, but 40 minutes from here. And I feel like I know you from somewhere. Where are you from?
I'm from Secaucus.
Nah, I don't know you. Did you wrestle or no?
Wrestle, nah. Elmwood Park, maybe. I used to live in Elmwood Park when I was 8.
You're just really familiar. But I started investing when I was at Monmouth. My ex-girlfriend, her dad was flipping houses, and I had a value. I was knocking down walls, doing shit like that for him at his different job site. We flipped about 10 houses together, and then we broke up, me and his daughter. So that relationship
Wait,
ended.
what grade were you in?
Sophomore, so freshman, sophomore. Going summer of my freshman year of college. Yeah, that's when we started dating. Summer of freshman year, broke up, going into senior year. So about a solid 2.5, 3 years of. It was awesome. I mean, it was like we flipped our first house together. It was kind of cool. But I wasn't really getting much, I wasn't getting equity at first. I was just paid hourly, like 15, 20 an hour, and it was awesome. Like, this is legit. Like, I didn't want to be the guy knocking down the shit, but I can tell you exactly how to fucking put a house together because I've done it before. You know what I mean? But I won't do that shit now. You know, I'll pay somebody to do it. Moving forward, at Monmouth, we broke up, and then I went to the NFL, Arizona Cardinals, and I bought a 4-unit apartment building and lived in 1 unit, rented out the other 3. Those three tenants paid for my mortgage. Like, I lived for free. Actually, I made like $120 a month for living. Like, that was it. But I came out of pocket originally $13,000. I've gotten that, recouped that already back since the last, it's 2017. Yeah, I've gotten it back so far. So everything else is just cash flow moving forward. Then I went to the Detroit Lions and did the same thing with a duplex, lived on one side, we Airbnb'd upstairs.
And you kept the other house as well?
Yeah, we took that unit that I was living in, and my manager Airbnbs it now. So it would have rented for $750, but Airbnbs anywhere between like $1,400 and almost $2,000. It's pretty cool.
And it's in a popular area too.
It's not though. It is, but it's not. It's in Phoenix, but it's C-class neighborhood. Like the tenant below me, she was Section 8, like straight up. It's like, what are you willing to sacrifice? I'm a fucking NFL player living in a Section 8 building. Like, put that shit in perspective, like straight up. Like, if you were making $26,000 a week, where would you live?
With my mom. And that's only because I know shit don't last sometimes. Now if you ask me at 21, I'll be in a mansion somewhere.
And that is what the issue of the NFL is you get that, but you only get it for 17 weeks out of the year. And then you're still spending $10,000 a week for the rest of the year. And the next season comes by and you got shit left. You gotta play another year. 26 a week, 10 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 a week. Off season ends, still 10 a week, 10 a week, 10 a week, 10 a week, 10 a week. Spending habits are hard to fucking break. I don't know if you guys ever look at your bank statements. It's hard to break spending habits. One thing you should do is print all that shit out, highlight just the weird shit. What the fuck, why? Eliminate that shit. You have to be intentional about it. If you're not intentional about it, you'll never do it. Ever. I need to stop drinking coffee. Yeah, I need to stop doing that. Yeah, you're not gonna do it. If you print out, control print that shit, your whole statement, and look not even on a computer, physically highlight why, figure out what your number is and take it from there. and take that fucking money you saved and invest that shit in real estate. Straight up. And like, there's other ways to invest. Like, say you can finesse some entrepreneurial shit. Talk about being creative with real estate. One of my buddies doesn't have much money. Actually, he's got a decent amount of money. He just doesn't. He's not ready to make like a $50,000 investment, which is like a minimum investment on like an apartment complex. But for our direct mail campaign and our cold calling campaign, like, I'm not paying for the hours that my VA does for scraping the leads, for the person who's handwriting them, all the stamps, all that shit. Like, it's gonna be a solid. It's gonna be, because for over 2,000 leads, you're gonna pay like a couple $1,000, maybe like $8,000. So he gets to be, if I get a deal out of those direct mail and the cold calls, he gets a percentage. He's on that deal. Next deal, we haven't negotiated what the percentage is going to be, but say 5%. Now you own passively an apartment. You're an owner of an apartment complex because you invested into the direct mail of somebody's. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can get as creative as that because there's no fucking rules in real estate. Be creative, but be ethical. Right.
100% legal. Always want to be, because if you ruin your reputation,
there's no coming back.
None.
If you get, once you get there, you're a scumbag in the market. Again, fuck you. All it takes is one referral. Like, energy doesn't lie. You know what good energy is and bad energy. That shit's gonna come back and get you regardless. Because it's easy to be unethical because it is a very loosely, I wouldn't say loosely regulated, but it is a loosely regulated industry. So you can do some shiesty shit.
What's like an example of like just like I don't get what would be unethical.
Something of unethicalness would be, okay, me telling you that I'm doing a direct mail campaign, keeping the money and not doing it, or not doing it right, or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, being lazy because you're using somebody else's money and not doing it right, or from let me think of another unethical perspective, from like a money perspective, like. There's so many ways, because you can be, if you're pitching a deal to somebody, for example, most people, what you'll learn if you hone on to this shit and you want to do real estate, what you'll learn as you're pitching people, most people don't pay attention to the shit. Like, it's all about energy. Like, it's the first 5 minutes you decide you're going to invest in me if you're not. We're doing the meeting, you have the money. Do you know what I mean? Like, the deal, it's a deal. I wouldn't be bringing it to you if it wasn't a deal. It's, do you like, trust, and respect me? Then you're probably going to do the deal. So now if I got people who like, trust, and respect me, I can get as unethical as I want. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm starting a $150 million fund from these Germans, but I could start that and not do shit with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Or I could raise that capital raise 50,000 from you, and 50,000 from you, and 50,000 from you. 200, 300. Raised 400,000 for the down payment of a property, but the down payment was only 350, and I kept 50 for myself. That's unethical. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many. Like, there's no one saying that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if the money's going into my hands, why couldn't I? But it's unethical as fuck, and you're gonna get caught at the end. You might not even get caught, but like,
it's gonna come back.
It's gonna come back regardless. Like, but because you have the opportunities to touch a lot of money and just be in a lot of situations where you can be unethical. But it's just.
All right, I have a question.
What's up?
You had it easy. You had money because you were in NFL, right? So isn't it easier to have to like invest?
Was she here on that shit?
No, I don't think she wasn't here for that. She wasn't here for that.
Like, I'm very practical about what I do. It's not like, when it comes to money that I've invested in the properties, it's not much really. It's all about how hard you're willing to work. Like, you can have all the money in the fucking world, doesn't make you a good investor. It's just, you're just throwing money at shit. But me, like, I am not, like, from a, people say like you're lucky, and like I get fucking pissed because I'm not lucky at all. Like, I put the work in. Like, when I was training for the NFL, I had an hour and a half commute each way, so 3 hours a day. I was on the road, trained for 14 hours a day. Lunch was for about an hour and a half. So for 4.5 hours a day, I was listening to audiobooks and podcasts and read. Like, that's it. I had lunch by myself, literally on the fucking, this training facility in New Jersey. I had one of those big ass mats in gym class you jump on and lay on. Every single day, I used to lay on it, read audiobook. On the way home, read audiobook. Way back, read audiobook. I'm saying? Like, that's what's given me the knowledge to figure out how I can be creative with deals and not have to spend money. Like, for example, I'm a part of a cannabis deal where I was telling you I'm gonna be able to get $50,000 from all that. I don't have any money into that deal. It was all hard work and networking. Like, straight up. Like, I met these people, it was a 4-hour meeting. They invited me to be a part of this one thing, and then how could I add value? I added value by doing different things, giving them connections, like making a pitch deck for them, all types of shit, just figuring out ways, not knowing if shit's even gonna come in return. I just know that by adding value, it's gonna come back at the end. And now I'm a part of, I own 25% in this deal. If I sold my shit, I don't know how many, like $1.6 million I could get. Like right now, if I wanted to, but in the future, that 1.6 is going to be worth we got an offer for $7 million. If we develop that entire land out, it'll be worth $1.3 billion 7 years from now. I don't need $1.6 million right now. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like.
So where would you start off if you were a college student?
So what I was just telling them is, one, you have to make an account on this site called Bigger Pockets. It's literally the Facebook of real estate. Like, that's what it is. And Bigger Pockets, you start on Bigger Pockets and you make a post in the area, like, hi, you introduce yourself, and you have to be as genuine as possible. Where people fuck up in most industries, in most things, when they're new at it, or when it seems like when they get excited about it, they try and figure out what the shortcuts are and how to posture to make themselves seem bigger than they're not. Because when you join that site, you're gonna be, like, I remember the feeling of feeling like, fuck, I'm like way behind. Like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, there's over 1 million people on here. Like, fuck, I'm too late. Like, just like a weird feeling. I don't know. Or just like, oh my gosh, there's a 19-year-old doing this shit. Like, because there's so many, and what you'll see on Bigger Pockets, and you'll hear the podcast, 23-year-old just bought his 40-unit apartment complex in Texas with blah, 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 blah. And they'll show you exactly how they did it, but most people see that and go, fuck. And then, like, that's it. Like, there's no action taken after that, when really, like, most people get jealous about things because they feel like they're losing, that other person is winning. But back to the win-win in real estate, take that 23-year-old, now you have access to the message that we're in the world, but we have fucking these. You can get in contact with damn near anybody in the fucking world. Message them, figure out how to add value to them. Now you're a part of their shit. Because in real estate, it's one of those industries where you add value to someone, most people are not willing to just give you, okay, because you decided to you're good at editing videos. You decided to edit all my videos. I don't want to really pay you for it, but I'll give you 5% in my next deal. Most people say, I'll be nice, but 5% in a deal could mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really leverage what you're good at and then figure out how you can add value to someone, and you can literally get into any deal for free. But you have to, you have to be intentional about it. Like, you can't just be floating around like a butterfly, just like, yeah, I'll dabble with this, dabble with that, dabble with this, dabble with that, dabble with this, dabble with that, dabble with this, dabble with that. You figure out your focus and then you fucking make a plan and you attack, like, straight up. Like, I'm gonna like, when I say I'm practical, like, I'll message. For example, still now, I was telling you that you guys are doing your Bigger Pockets thing. Right now, I'm really passionate about trying to become a thought leader in the real estate space. So I comment on 90 Instagram posts a day. Genuine comments, not spam, copy and paste. Like, I literally go multifamily, buy and hold. I'll show you the tags I've searched. I'll read them off to you. So I'm not bullshitting. I'll show you how practical, man. Is a whole bunch of different things. And what I do is now you go on something like, this is multifamily investing, 10,000 posts on there. Right? You see all these different real estate posts?
I'll be
Still
on
real
my
estate
financial
business.
business.
Start small, learn the skills, most of the work yourself. Do houses. Reinvest, most of the work yourself. Buy apartments, buy office. It's awesome. So what do? Actually, I already comment on that shit. Love this visual. Something small like that. That's being tactical and intentional about what you want to do. I literally want to be a thought leader in the multifamily real estate space. When people think of multifamily real estate, oh, there's that guy who used to be in the NFL who invests. Like, that's who I want to be, but I'm not that at all, because I know I'm very self-aware of who I am and where I am. And like small intentional shit like that, or just like I've told you it's the extreme practical plan of what you want to do when it comes to wholesaling real estate. Like, literally, like, say you want to, like, anything, because you have the access of this, like, bigger pockets and shit like that, you can do anything. Like, take New Jersey, for example, and you can literally search New Jersey, and every damn near investor on bigger pockets from New Jersey is there. Like, what I did when I was rookie in the NFL, young 22-year-old, I made a post in Arizona. Let me show you as I'll be like, I don't like the bullshit, because some people, my story sounds like bullshit. It really does.
How old are you now?
26.
You said 23. 3. Stupid.
Wait, you said rookie when you were
22.
22?
22. I honestly can't fucking remember what year is my rookie year. I graduated high school in 2011. I was 18. It's crazy.
I graduated in 05.
Do you know
Me too.
Cam?
Yeah.
I'm 31.
Cameron?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Graduated in
I don't know. No, I think it starts with an M. His last name.
I mean, Lynch?
I don't know. He's like cute. Well,
Is he light skinned?
Like
He's
one of my buddies, close buddies, is
I
Manny
know
Collins.
one. I know one dude named Cameron Lynch.
his
He
last
used to
name's
play
with
in
like
the
the
NFL.
M.
He was
He's like number 70
a
something.
cornerback for the Indianapolis Colts. He's
That's
real
my
good
sister.
friends with the McCoy
Oh,
twins.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like
So,
it's crazy.
look at
But it's like
my
you
page.
see where everybody end up. It's like wow.
That's wild.
Let's see what I post.
Shoot, that's what once I finish talking to him, I'm gonna call up him and be like, yo, man.
So you
I
didn't
need
even
help.
go to like school for this?
I
You
did.
just-
My undergrad is business with a
And it's gonna be
concentration in
good.
real estate. But it was bullshit. It
So
was
much
literally
bread in
teaching,
this,
like,
man.
I got a Rich Dad Poor Dad. You read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got a
My
Rich
friend told me
Dad.
to read it.
Yeah, we
Read that
told
shit.
our coworker.
You should have read it yesterday, like straight up.
I'm gonna cop that.
Yeah,
We told our
honestly.
coworker that we were going to like a real estate like thing, and she said, "Oh, if you're interested in that, read Rich Dad Poor Dad."
It's a great book
An
because
hour ago.
it'll tell. It's energy, bro. We're all fucking connected. Universe. It's one of those books where it's very, 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 very simple, easy read. It tells you from like a rich dad, poor dad perspective. He has his rich dad, who's his best friend's dad, who's a millionaire, investor, all this stuff, and his poor dad, who's not poor. He's the Secretary of Education for Hawaii. Like, he makes a decent amount of money, but he's stuck in the system, like 9 to 5 forever. Like, he has poor habits, and he talks about it's a different back and forth. So when I was in college, my major, business and real estate, was my poor dad, because it was literally teaching you how to be an employee at one of the big real estate commercial firms. Once a week, somebody from a commercial firm will teach you what their company does, and come work for us, come intern for us. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not interning for you, I want to be you. Do you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, my ex's dad was teaching me how to actually be an entrepreneur. And I'm knocking down walls. I'm knocking on doors to make offers on pre-foreclosed houses. I get a list of pre-foreclosures. I drive around West Orange. Like, talk about just because I'm rich. Like, no, like when I was in college, like I was a Division I football player. I don't know if you know how busy like Division I football, like it's insane. Like I would. My
You guys
schedule.
have no breaks, right?
You have no breaks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd wake up at 4 in the morning, get my shit done, be back by an 8 o'clock fucking workout. Really knock down a wall, put in a cabinet, blah blah blah. Get back on the Parkway at 7 for my 8 o'clock workout, or 8:30 practice. Like straight up, like it's. Who are you? Like I've been self-aware from like for that long that this is what I wanted to do. Like, back to this shit. Here we go. Here's the profile.
So what you wouldn't recommend trade school? I mean not trade school.
Grad school?
What's that called? Real estate school.
Like getting your real estate license?
Yeah.
Hell.
You'd rather invest than do that.
No, because well, 100%. If you go to real estate school, you become a realtor, and it's just a job. It's cool. You get to sell houses. Your name is on shit. You get 3% of every property sold, and then eventually 5 years later, you're like, fuck, I should be a part of these deals, and then you'll start investing in real estate. So it happens with every realtor. Or they just quit and start getting a regular job.
Like, yeah, you gotta be careful when you're a realtor because I think it's a conflict of interest and.
It's not. What do you mean?
Like, if so, you know someone's selling a house and then you try to hop in the deal, that's illegal or something like that.
It's a lot of bullshit to deal with. I would never become a realtor. You're just the middleman, and I try and avoid realtors and brokers. Realtors only deal with single-family houses. Brokers deal with multifamilies. I try and avoid brokers by doing direct mail and cold calling, because adding a broker into the deal, the price goes up because the broker has to do the shit. Okay, here's my profile. All 29 posts. Let me show you my first post. This is my Bigger Pockets account. New investor and professional athlete in the Tempe area.
That's all you put?
No. Hi, my name is Hakeem Valles. I just completed my rookie year for the Arizona Cardinals. I moved to the Tempe area in May after the draft. Now that the season's over, I'm ready to dive into real estate. I've always had a passion for real estate, and I want to primarily focus on rental properties. I'm looking to connect and network with any local investors, contractors, agents, brokers, and anyone else who'd like to spread great knowledge. Are people taking over? Oh, cool. On the Tempe and surrounding areas. Thank you. Welcome to BP. Welcome indeed. Blah, blah, blah. These are all comments. That guy is still my friend. That guy's the owner of the site. But every single one of these people, I responded to them all, figured out where the relationship went. Probably half of them, we all went out to lunch. That guy's awesome. Russian dude. This guy sold me my property. Awesome. Like, this guy is one of my better friends now. Welcome to Bigger Pockets in the Valley of the Sun, Tempe. It's a great city to both live and invest. I know because I lived there from 04 to 14, bought my first rental there in 04, still own and manage a few. Working on a big renovation project in Tempe as well. That's all he said to me. A week later, I was in his truck and I was checking out his 12 rental properties across Tempe. A week later, we found a fourplex for me to buy because he's a realtor as well. I bought it from him. That's some shit, right? But that's how, but the fortune's in the follow-up. If I just, this is sick, this is sick, this is sick, and I just respond to that first person and let that go off into a tangent, like that's what it is. What about all these people?
So basically that website just helps you out. Like people,
It's literally the Facebook for real estate. Like there's webinars on there, there's videos on there, there's members on there, there's investors. Because you can just, well, not really solicit, but like if you're a banker, why wouldn't you be on there? Because now as an investor, you want that investor to use your bank so you can get your cut. It's literally a win-win-win-win-win for everybody. It's just, do you have the network and do you have the capability of putting the right people together to make a deal happen? But what you'll notice in real estate, like most people want to help you. Like it's not like most industries, people are like reserved, like fuck you. Real estate is really one of those industries because it's such a grinding not self-made, but it's a grinding industry. Like people want to help. Like all you gotta do is reach out and the fortunes and the follow-up because they're not gonna drag. Will not drag any of you guys from this meeting on to reach out to me or anything. Like it's all up to you. If this is some shit that you want to do, like I'm completely open to helping all you guys and all your real estate dreams. Like that's my passion. But I'm not gonna text you like, yo, what the fuck, like blah blah blah. Like, no, it's up to you to be passionate about it. Like straight up, I'm not gonna force it out of you.
Yeah, in high school, there was a principal that I was working with, and she does real estate. So she was telling me to look into real estate because she has a whole team now. Like her and her husband, it's dumb. And then she has like a photographer and all that stuff. But she makes money because she sells like a whole bunch of houses. But the thing, it's a family thing, so it's like easy for her. Like the money comes like easy.
It's easy, but family things aren't always the best options.
Yeah, I know it's difficult like to actually be in the real estate because you have to do way more.
It depends. Like, what are you passionate about?
Honestly, right now I'm just seeing my options, seeing what I could do. But I would be interested in investing, not really more towards selling the houses. But investing sounds way better than.
It's the lifestyle. It's an amazing life. You set the terms. You decide what you want to wear. For a realtor, you gotta show up in your eyes. It's a skirt and do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like an investor, I love it because I love people inherently. So it's just connecting with people and making shit work and finding synergies and then making it happen. Like I said earlier, most industries it's win-lose. Most relationships, it's like I win because I got this from you, you lost because you gave it to me. I win because I got this from you, you lost because you gave it to me. Whereas we can all win because we can all do a project together. We can all win because all of us can do one project together, all be a part of it. Because I live in abundance mentality. Like there's enough for everybody, especially with real estate. And people get jealous in those industries. Like I'm saying, like you see a 23-year-old, fuck, he's balling. Or you go to Instagram and you just see a fucking college kid and you're like, oh shit, it's 6 o'clock. I got a mastermind group too. No, you're good. I'm not gonna go. I just need to tell them like, yo. Hey, what's going on, Sean? I'm gonna call you back in about.
I just asked him about this yesterday, 2 days ago. He was like, we having our chapter meeting tomorrow, which was yesterday. So
So I'm like
Yeah, let me just finish answering this question.
I'm new to this. I'm new to like real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't look. This is not one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm new on space. No, fuck that. Like, you're new, but it's dope.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
get
not
lit.
scared. I just wanted to know, like, do you have any like people that you like watch on YouTube that like have like
That's the one that
good
told
things
me
to
about
say
it.
that'll probably teach me more about
Yeah.
the business?
Michael Blank. Michael Blank is good for multifamily real estate because he's a nerd, so he'll really explain it out to you. But if you want more, I'd listen to that one second. The first one, as a newbie, I'd listen to the Bigger Pocket site has a podcast. Listen to that shit because they bring in most podcasts. It's the Millionaires. Like, oh, this guy has 50 properties. He's balling, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, you don't really relate to that. Bigger Pockets will bring in first-time house flipper. Does this, and they'll have the literally step by step. Like, hi, I was 19 and in college, and we did this, that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. These are the numbers, and that's what happened. Not a millionaire, just flipped one house. Like,
So you don't gotta start with a lot of money, like investing. Because, you know, it's a struggle in college. Like, you don't really got.
but that's why it's what can you trade for money? It's hard work. It's not just gonna come like just because you're dreaming or say it. Like, if you grind enough, like, what are you good at? That's dope.
Good with people. I don't know. Like, I'm a very outgoing person. Like, people really like.
Can you edit videos? Like on Adobe Premiere or some shit like that.
Edits? I mean, I can edit my photos, but videos, never mind. I'm not good.
I'm just saying. I'm like, once you figure out what you're good at, you can add value to anybody. Like, I know what I'm good at, so I know how I can add value.
I cut hair. I gave free haircuts if you.
That'd be fire, bro. It's crazy because I was thinking about seeing if you wanted to get shape up somewhere in town, but let's go.
Honestly, though, I can't shape you up right now.
No, I'm speaking at Monmouth University at 7. Like, I got a dip. It's another person you should follow is Gary. You follow Gary Vaynerchuk? Bro, consumer shit, but actually listen to what he's saying. Like, listen, like every day he's dropping shit. Listen to it. Because when I say dropping some dimes for people that are our age, like dimes that you're not gonna get anywhere else. Because he releases like the shit that he's talking about, you'll have to pay like $10,000 to buy. Like straight up. Like, that's how valuable the information that he releases is. Like, he's got, for example, I'm starting to do my content model now. Is that's why there's a camera here. How he does this, you ever notice how much content he has out? Like, it's ridiculous how much he's on social media. But he doesn't really do much. He just does what he does. He lives his life as an entrepreneur, and he documents everything. And he has his media team break it down into a million different pieces and cut it up and put it on all the different social media sites.
That's smart.
Super simple, super small. But I definitely didn't answer your question. What was your question right there?
No, my question was about like who could I look
Oh
at?
yeah, Gary Vee. So for example, he released an 88-slide content deck, exactly how he does it. Like straight up, like here's a 1-hour keynote speech. This is how I break it into 30 pieces of content. Like, my team will do this with all these videos, bam, 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 and now there are 1-minute Instagram videos, 30-minute Twitter video, 30-second Twitter video, 30-second LinkedIn video, LinkedIn article, 2 of them, Snapchat post, Medium blog, another site that's a blog, all that shit, just for a 1-hour keynote speech. Because most people, you're creating friction for that. Most people create friction for that end user meeting. You create a podcast, you just put it on YouTube and SoundCloud. No one's gonna fucking really sit for an hour and listen to that shit. Why don't you break it down for a minute video of some of the highlights? So somebody can listen to that. Because there might be a nugget in there. But that might inspire someone who only listens to the 1-minute one to now go to that hour thing and listen to it. Another thing, you ever notice that on Twitter, Instagram, the bigger accounts, the news accounts, the Now This, the BuzzFeeds, when you see a video there, what's usually at the bottom of it? Subtitles, right? It's random, weird, right? Do you know why? 90% of videos watched on social media are watched without sound. Think about it. When you're in class, when you're walking around, sound actually thinks it goes on. What do? Freak the fuck out. Everybody does. But you can. Now you got your 1-minute podcast video, whatever. Now it's transcribed. This is a dope podcast. You're not even listening to shit. I'll probably check that shit out later. Now you're not creating friction for that end user. He's still going about his day. The same shit, still going on social media, but doesn't now have to go to Stitcher to listen to your podcast. Because we end users, we're all about fucking speed. How fast can you get it to me? How easy can you get it to me? And Gary Vee preaches that shit. And he's a good dude to really figure out what your like listen, watch a lot of his shit. Figure out where your values are and all that shit from like a soul searching perspective. 'Cause he's dope, like dope. Like I'm a fucking fanboy of Gary Vee, straight up, like straight up.
But when you started off on the website, you were like 23, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's when you started off, and you really
No,
had to think
but I was 23 when I made my first post. I actually found Bigger Pockets when I started training, because I was listening to this podcast and all that every day. I never made a post. I thought I wasn't good enough. I just thought it wasn't enough yet. I needed to invest first, and like I finally got over it. And a year later, I made my first post.
It was hard, right? Like typing up that paragraph. You had a lot of thought, right?
Small shit like that. But that's where I help. Like my uncle, for example, he's ex-Air Force, and he just started on Bigger Pockets. I wrote out a post for him. I said, bro, go to this thing, post that shit. Every person who responds, take them out the car. Like, don't listen to what I do, just watch what I do. Fucking copy what I fucking said and edit it to your story and say that.
Dirty. Traffic, because the traffic is
Wow, so that's where you started off, and that's it. You just branched off from there.
Like, I'll take this one person, like, and then you just add value. It'll come back. What year are you?
I'm a freshman.
Add fucking value.
I just think
I'm not meaning to say it like rude like that, but you have so much time. So
No,
by
I
the
know.
time,
I like thinking ahead of time.
When you say add value, you mean like add knowledge yourself so that you can contribute?
as you find more people in Bigger Pockets, as you figure out people, a person like me, figure out where you can add value in my life. I'm literally looking for someone who is someone who can edit videos, because I don't really feel like using someone in the Philippines like my assistant, just because I'd rather see the person and deal with them. Like a way to add value is, do you know somebody who has? You know what I'm saying? Like, Hakeem, I found this person. That's adding
I do
value.
know somebody, by the way. He's from my town. He actually shot a video for A Boogie.
It's fire.
I
don't even have time for this now. Put me on. Put me like 100%. That's adding value to me. Like small shit like that. Like I 100% need this person, but we need to take this picture and I gotta go. Shit like that. You had